Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. I know we're starting a few minutes late, but we had an awards ceremony across the street that went a little long because, we just had a lot of awards to give out, so it was a good thing. So, at this time, I would like to invite you each to stand, if you are able, for the procession of the class of 2022 of Renaissance Alternative High School. Please rise, and turn your attention to the American flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I would like to invite Danette Meny to come up. She's one of our mentors. She's going to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Danette. Well, good evening. We made it. No, I just meant from across the street. I'm Gary Bigger. I'm the principal of Renaissance Alternative High School, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. But mostly, it's my pleasure to say that with pride in each student's accomplishment, that I welcome you to the Renaissance High School's Class of 2022 graduation ceremony. You've arrived at this point in your life ready to put one large accomplishment behind you and step forward with confidence into the next plans for your life. I want to commend you on your perseverance as we come out of one of the most difficult times in educational history to finish your high school career. With this perseverance, I believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Many people have helped you along the way, and I would like to ask if you are a parent, sibling, grandparent, aunt, uncle, friend to a graduate, please stand for a moment. Graduates, turn around and give them an applause for helping you get this far. So, there may be a couple other people that helped you along the way. Teachers at Renaissance High School, as I call your name, please stand up. Matt Blow, Heidi Buckley, Megan Cook, Cindy Hearn, Patty Hilliker, Barb Howard, Scott Humphrey, Ryan Call, Doug Kennedy, Jared Lawrence, Edna Sove, Counselor Stacy Youngerman, Student Support Coach Amy Horvath, Administrative Assistant Terry Porritt, Building Aide Annette Brown, Social Worker Natalie Stevens, Custodians Jeff Kelly and John Petcho, and our lunch server Claudia Sherman. Please give them a hand, graduates. Thank you. To start off, it is my pleasure to invite Kelly Horst, President of the Board of Education, to come and introduce the Board of Education and share some wise words with us.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Education, I extend a warm welcome to the class of 2022 and to your proud parents, family members, and friends. Across the street tonight, you heard from a lot of people who said they indeed love you, and I will add the Board of Education to that list. This is one of our favorite nights of the year. So let me introduce my fellow members of the Board of Education who are here with us tonight. Treasurer Stephanie Crane, Secretary Steve Heyer, and Trustee Cheryl McGinnis. This ceremony is one of the most important and enjoyable duties that we have as a Board of Education and indeed as a district. Tonight, we confer the credential that assures our community that Clarkston Community Schools has fulfilled its vision and promise to the class of 2022, that the graduates before us are prepared for a future that excites them and that they believe they can achieve their dreams. When Mr. Bigger announced that the graduation theme was to be, "I Can See Clearly Now," I immediately thought of two things. First, the Johnny Nash song, and with apologies to the lovely lady who just sang the National Anthem, I really couldn't recite the lines. I thought I would sing them for you, so please, someone with a better voice, help me out here. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone. Did someone mute me? Oh, that's humiliating. The dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. And that's all. Thank you, thank you. So graduates, there's lesson number 1. Sing your song proudly, even if you can't sing. Thank you. But then I thought, Mr. Bigger just about guaranteed rain with that one, didn't he? And we were nervous this morning. I thought, oh, Mother Nature tried to scare us, but it ended up being a glorious day. And graduates, you deserved it. This is your day. And as I thought about tonight and all of you, I kept coming back to that line in the song, "I can see all obstacles in my way." Each year at this ceremony and at our dinner tonight, we hear the stories that brought you to this moment. And even as we heard tonight, some of them are about trauma or tragedy that a lot of our Clarkston students will never experience or understand. But ultimately, they are stories of triumph because you are here tonight to graduate, and we are so proud of you. But it doesn't mean that there won't be obstacles in your future, and you won't always see them coming. So what do you do when trouble comes your way in life? Well, you talk your way out of it, of course. Now, I don't mean, "Mrs. Cook, I won't be turning in my assignment today because the dog ate my homework." No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is learn and master the art of conversation. There is a lot to be gained by looking someone in the eye and simply talking to each other. Author Lisa Cook said, "A bore is one who talks to you about himself, but a brilliant conversationalist is one who talks to you about yourself." So how does one become a brilliant conversationalist? Well, the good news is you learn the most important skill right here in Clarkston Community Schools, listening. Think of all the times you heard these phrases in school. Listen up, are you listening? Eyes and ears on me. Use your listening ears. It's gotta be second nature by now. A brilliant conversationalist is also curious, asks a lot of questions, knows it's okay to disagree, consider different points of view, and can persuade or be persuaded with a better argument or new information. So once you master these skills of being a brilliant conversationalist, you will be ready to engage in all kinds of debates on topics both serious and silly, like whether or not a movie sequel is better than the original. How many of you have already seen Top Gun Maverick? A few? Okay, see, but back in 1986, when I, and probably a lot of you in the audience were about your age, we were lining up for the original Top Gun, also starring Tom Cruise as hotshot fighter pilot Pete Mitchell, callsign Maverick, were we not? So, at a particularly emotional point in the movie, Maverick seeks spiritual guidance from his wingman and best friend who had died tragically in a flying exercise, and what does he say? He says, "Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose." See, even Tom Cruise knows the value of good conversation. And it wasn't the only example of an impassioned exchange of ideas. When Maverick breaks protocol to help a fellow pilot land after a harrowing encounter with a Russian MiG, he has to defend his actions to his superiors. Now, his commanding officer expressed a different point of view. He tells him, "Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash." See, this is simply the sign of healthy conversation. It's also a practice that is good for your physical and mental health. Now, I've been carrying this pocket Bible around with me over the last couple of years. It says 101 ways to be less stressed. That's what has reminded me it is healthy to engage in this kind of conversation. But the best scene in the whole movie is when Maverick's classmates help him convince a nice lady to join him for what? a conversation, and they succeed by serenading her with the Righteous Brothers. Serenading her with the Righteous Brothers. Righteous. Jeez. It didn't work last week either at graduation. Oh well. So as you can tell, I'm pretty nostalgic about the original, but if any of you want to make a case for the sequel after you've seen it, I will be glad to sit down and have a conversation with you about it. So hopefully I haven't been too much of a bore or a terrible singer, and I've convinced you of the value of becoming a brilliant conversationalist as you start on this path to achieving your dreams. And while you may not always see the obstacles in your way, the Board of Education knows you will enjoy great success, great adventures, and great conversations with interesting people along the way. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Well, our next speaker, I always say this, and I'm going to say this again because I love it. And whenever Dr. Ryan comes into our building, he always says, "This is my favorite place to be." And so at this time, I would like to invite not our superintendent, but our most famous mentor to come up and share us some wise words.
So I won't start it with I have the need for speech or speed, right? However that goes. Thank you, President Horst, Board of Ed, Mr. Bigger, staff at RHS, families, and most importantly, our grads here. It's always kind of one of my favorite, as Mr. Bigger said, favorite places to be in the world is at Renaissance. But looking at this graduation, this ceremony, is literally my favorite event of the year, because a lot of times you look at graduations as rites of passages, moving on to new open doors, new challenges, but you're looking at a group of graduates that came in here this evening who went the extra mile, who in good years showed that they could struggle and persevere more than the average student that you see in Clarkson Community Schools. Through the last couple of years, though, I think we'd all agree it's been kind of a show. That's edited for TV. But we're still here. And looking at the grads here in terms of their ability to survive and persevere, and looking at the staff here willing to push, pull, incentivize, drag, yell, love, hug to get the grads through to this evening, in addition to your parents and everybody else in your support group, it's truly a night to be celebrating. And when I was trying to get ideas to come with some things that would be intelligent to share, I don't really look at it as a mentor group, Mr. Bigger. It's really my superintendent advisory group. And we get together once a week, and this is the underclassmen at RHS, and we talk about politics, we talk about school affairs, we talk about how to do snow days. And that was one of my only few big mistakes this year, was to actually create a group of these guys in my phone so that when it was time to discuss snow days at 4 o'clock in the morning, they could sound off and give me their opinion. Shockingly, pretty much 100%, they wanted a snow day every day from, I think it was from November all the way through April. Again, seriously, they were intense on it. It was kind of fun, though. But seriously, I asked these guys, what advice, what kind of things have you noticed with the class of 2022? What can we tell them? What can we pull out? Because, I don't know if you guys can use your phones, you guys can use Snap or whatever social media thing you want to pull out, We need some good advice for these guys. You know them better than I do, and I walk the halls and love this place. And I had to even write down some of the notes to make sure I got it right. And coming from 1 Foot In, which is affectionately our group, they wanted a couple truths they wanted to make sure that you left with. And one of them is, happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them and move towards people and things that make you happy and healthy. I thought that was brilliant. And when you look at what we've collectively been through and the class of 2020 has survived, no better words could really capture the idea that you make your own luck, you make your own happiness, and you choose your attitude. The second truth that they gave me was that feeling sad after making a decision does not mean it was the wrong decision. And this is really deep for our group because we struggle to get through a lot of different things this year, and you grads will be struggling and changing and moving on, and know that becoming an adult, moving on to the next step is not always easy. And over the past few years, I think we all learned that some of the best decisions we've made, the hardest, and it's never a good idea to settle in life. Never settle in life. The third truth was that you're not stressed because you're doing too much in your life. And this is a really fun one for my group because we were trying to get the grades, and they want to be in your footsteps next year. They went on to say, you're stressed because you're doing too little of what makes you feel most alive. And I thought that was incredible. You know, the idea of making time for yourself so you don't get lost in work or school and forget what to do that you love and the people that make you happy. And that's where that connection you'll definitely see clearly now. And I'm not even going to try to sing even a bar of that song, sorry. But looking at that idea of chasing your passions and doing what you want to do, what's going to make you happy. It doesn't pan out to try to make anybody else happy in this world. At the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror. I'm looking at you grads, and you got to be happy with your life, your choices, your responsibility. No more turning your car keys in when you walk in the morning. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Or any other things that get you through. It really comes down to what you want to do and what you want to be. And then finally, this one's for me. And the idea that when you're considering something new or taking on a new challenge or making a change in your life, consider what if it turns out even better than you imagined? What if? Don't ever leave it on the table. And I was reminded this a couple weeks back. I was watching the Kentucky Derby. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the horse called Rich Strike. He was horse 21 in a field of 20. He was a late entry, wasn't even supposed to be there. He was the longest shot, the literal dark horse. And yet, we watched him emerge from the back of the pack to triumph against all odds. What if? To me, that sounded tremendously familiar to the graduating class of 2022 at Renaissance, of what you guys overcome. And how did he do it? Well, horses don't know the odds. They run every race without the faintest thought of past failures or successes. They stand beside the other horses, and when the starting gate flies open, they just run. What does this about horses have to do with you, the human grads of 2022? I want you to know there will be many races in your life, and bet on yourself every time. Amen. Thank you. Can I get a big amen? Thank you, because you know what? You can go ahead and let people tell you that your goals are unrealistic or unattainable. Hear me here. Or that you're too slow, you're not smart enough, you're unworthy, you didn't come from the right family. You can hear all of it. Throw it on the ground and then do it anyway. You will triumph even when nobody thinks you will. You may even surprise yourself. You'll defy the odds, and your success will be all the sweeter because of it. There is no race you can't run, no finish line you can't cross. And I saw that every time I came into RHS. You guys make it happen and got it done. Graduates, the next starting gate in your life is about to fly open. Don't pay attention to the odds. Just run. Keep your focus. Tune out the noise. And there's a lot of noise. Right, guys? A lot of noise. Tune it out. Stay close to those who push you to be your best. And don't forget to return to your hometown, where you have undoubtedly pushed us to be our best every day. We are a better community because of you, the Clarkson Renaissance High School class of 2022. Respect, love, good luck, best wishes. Thank you.
So I want to ask you graduates, do you remember when I came and I met with some of you for the first time and your parents? That little sit down? Well, I always talk about, the things that we offer to help you and things that we have and things that we have for you. And one of those things is our support coach. And I always make this statement. I said, not all of the students love me, but all of the students love Miss Amy. So at this time, I would like to invite Miss Amy to come up as our staff speaker.
Welcome. like he said, I'm Miss Amy, and I get the privilege and honor of listening to, loving, and cheering on and challenging these students you see before you, and it has been such a blessing. Whew. You have done it. Isaac. You did it, Isaac. Madison, Jacob, Victoria, Elisa, Reagan, Jana, Ava, Ariana, Alicia, Julian, Autumn, Erin, Mackenzie, Aiden, Corey, Cassie, Jaden, Maddie, Michaela, Ivan, Miguel, Ethan, Sam, Bella, Alyssa, CJ, Ty, Kennedy, Aaliyah, Savannah, Jalen, and Jonah. You guys have done it. You have done math calculations with Cook and Kennedy, essays with Sauvé, Humphrey, Martin, art with Hall and Buckley. You've worked out with Weens-Weiss, Galley, and Kennedy. You've done Spanish with Hearn and Kay, received academic support from Lawrence, P., Godfrey, Call, Floros, and Hallman. You have discussed politics with Denver, Powers, and Howard. Done science experience with Hilliker and Miller. Media with Mr. Blau, guidance from Mrs. McGowan, Ms. Stevens, gotten hall passes from Ms. Annette, received birthday cards from me, counsel from Ms. Youngerman, help from Porritt, and leadership from Bonds and Bigger. You have attended mentor groups with crazy names such as Chicken Nuggets, Sour Patch, HGTF, Board of Directors, Screaming Tacos, The Office, OST Citizens, and Space Jam, where mentors listened to you, laughed with you, and fed you. Welcome to your big picture moment. I don't know if you can tell, but in the 2022, it has your moments, your senior pictures, your teachers, your moments in the hallways, and outside of Renaissance, in my office, with your mentor groups. It hasn't always been easy to see the big picture. Not easy to see when you were in elementary school, middle school, junior high, and high school. That all this, the early wake-ups, the tests, the homeworks, the quizzes, the field trips, the instructions from teachers, coaches, mentors, this all has come together for this big picture moment. Because before this moment, it's been difficult to see. And I know this because you asked me questions like, do I really have to go to class? Can I just sit here and skip? Do I really need to turn in these assignments? Does it really make a difference if I fail this one class? Yes, it does. Because all these little moments, all the little moments come together for your big picture moment. Just like all the little efforts you put in for your small tasks come together for your big goal. And this is your big goal, your graduation. And it's extremely important for you to know that you didn't get here alone. You've had a framework of support around you. You've had your family who wakes you up, who gets you out of bed, who makes you come to school, who makes sure you're on your grades. You've had your teachers who've taught you, who've listened to your stories, who made sure that you were turning in assignments. You've had your friends be the reason you show up to school sometimes, be the ones to laugh with and cry with. And you've had mentors and coaches that have been around you to support you and care for you. And this picture right here is the same as this. And this big frame is to remind you of that framework. Your friends and your family and your coaches and your mentors and your teachers have all made up this framework for you. And to this point, you guys haven't had much of a choice on who your framework was. You're born into a family. You had to go to certain schools. You had to have certain teachers. You had to, a lot of was placed before you. Here's your framework, and go do the little things that get you to this point. But from here on out, it's different. You guys get to choose a lot of your framework. And you can choose people in your life that that you've known before. Choose some of us as teachers and support to be in to help you get to your next big picture moment. You can choose the new friends you make. You can choose the new teachers maybe, or new coworkers, new roommates. They can be your next support, your next framework for your next big picture moment. Everyone in this room can think of somebody who has been, or people that have been in their framework, and how important it is, how essential it is to have the right people in place for your framework to get you to your next big goal. And I encourage you, look for somebody who has gone before you, who has done the big picture that you're looking toward to do, and also they've done other things, reached bigger goals. I encourage you to find somebody like that to be part of your framework. I invite you to find somebody who is pursuing the same goals as you, and so they can stand beside you, encourage you on the way. You can be a support and an ally for each other. And you get the opportunity to be a part of a framework for somebody younger than you, somebody who isn't at the place that you are. You have that opportunity. But this is the thing. You have to be intentional about your framework, because otherwise people will be thrown in your corner that aren't going to support you. You have to be intentional, purposeful, and look for wise people to be there for you. We as a staff are so very proud of you. We are going to miss you inexplicably much. But again, we're proud of you. We're happy for you. And I want you to always, always, always remember that you are loved.
I was going to take this down, but I think I'm just going to leave it up. So many of you know tonight that we have a lot of support inside our building. We have a lot of support from the Board of Education. We have a lot of support from central office. We have a lot of support from so many people. And but we also have a lot of support from outside of our school. And I just want to take a quick moment to read off the recipients of our scholarships and our recognition awards from earlier today, because I think it's important to remember the people who may not even know you, but that love you and support you as well. So from Waypoint Church, scholarship was given to C.J. Sutton-Jones and Aiden Kassain. From Clarkston United Methodist Church, Hugh Rose Scholarship. Well, that was given to all of you. Waterford State Bank recognized Reagan Edwards, Ariana Gallo, Corey Marlinga, Madeline McVeigh, and Michaela Messenger. Clarkson Area Optimist gave a scholarship to Autumn Harvey. Clarkson Rotary gave a scholarship to Victoria Cavender. And M3 Investments gave scholarships to Reagan Edwards and Corey Marlinga. I don't know how many of the folks came from over there to over here, but thank you so much for your support of Renaissance and of these students and believing in their future. So, at this time, I am going to give you my address, which will be really short. So seniors, one, I don't like wearing a robe, but I need you to say something. I need you to say, I didn't quit.
I didn't.
Oh, no. I didn't quit.
I didn't quit.
Can't hear you.
I didn't quit.
Because you what?
I didn't quit.
You didn't quit. So I'm going to tell, because you're here. So I have one quick story. I had a story of when I was a young man, because I was not a good student. I was much like you guys, tardied for class, missed things, had to do packets at home and do classes all the time. Got to. Sorry, but I'm telling the story. I had to do all kinds of things. I had to do packets at home to make up classes. But I want to tell you a quick story about a man. His name was Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns was about this tall. And he was the toughest teacher I ever had. He was my civics teacher. And I failed my first test. But I participated in class a lot. And he said, Mr. Bigger, because that's what they said to us back then, Mr. Bigger, can you stay after class, please? And I'm like, oh, what did I do this time? And I stayed after class. Of course, my first thing was, do you want me to go to the principal's office? Because I was there a lot. My mom and the principal in every single one of my schools was on a first-name basis. So, and he said to me, I know you know this. So sit down, and I'm going to read this test to you, and you're going to tell me the answers. And I will never forget that because it was the test on the preamble to the Constitution. And there are 6 core things, and he read them to me, and I gave them all to him and gave them examples of each one, and he gave me an A. And he said, from now on, we will take every single one of your tests just like this. Because he saw something that I didn't see in myself. And that was a moment. And all of you have a moment. And at that moment, I could see clearly the obstacles in my way. And I could see that I could do more than maybe I thought I could do. And that was just one thing of many that happened to me in my lifetime. And this is why I chose to be in alternative education. I have never worked in a traditional building in my entire life. I have only worked in alternative ed because this is the place where I'm supposed to be. And my words to you, every single one of you, find the place you're supposed to be and be there. And last but not least, don't quit. Ever. Got it? All right. We're good. All right. So we have several students that are going to come up and speak at this time. So I seem to have lost my place, but I would like to start with Erin Houghton. Please come up. No.
Hello and welcome parents, RHS teachers, and fellow graduates. My name is Erin Houghton. Samuel Houghton, Timothy Houghton, Martin Houghton, Bobby Wallace, Leroy Puckett, Leona Puckett, John Puckett, Bea Ritter, and Solomon Bonnier. These names may mean nothing to you, but the names I just read are names of family members and friends who I've lost in my life. All of these individuals have impacted my life and shaped me to be the person I am today. However, there's one person whose death had a profound influence on how I view life, and that person is my friend Solomon Bonnier. Solomon Bonnier and I were friends when I attended Pontiac Academy for Excellence. We played football together, had many sleepovers, and we grew very close in a short amount of time. On March 23rd of 2017, at the age of 14 years old, Solomon was brutally murdered by a mutual friend. Losing him at such a young age taught me that life is precious and can be taken at any moment. All loss of the loved ones in my life, especially Solomon's, changed my way of thinking and my approach to life. I've learned to appreciate life and to live it each day to the fullest. I've learned that in life there's no certainty, no guarantee, and from one day to the next, so I try to embrace all the moments that life brings, the good and the bad. I'm sure that we have all already had our fair share of loss in our lives. I know that we will continue to have these moments. That is life. I don't say that lightly, because I know the pain of grief all too well. Rather, I say this with empathy and with hope that you don't let the loss, the pain, the sadness, the struggles that accompanies life hold you back or define who you are in a negative way. It is my hope that you find the lessons to be learned and use those to inspire you to be the best version of yourself and to live your best life. Live in the moment, especially this one. Enjoy this amazing milestone that you have accomplished. For many of us today, it was a struggle, a real journey to be able to graduate. However, we didn't let those challenges stop us from being able to stand here today. So look around you, take the time, soak in every moment. You have earned it. Congratulations, class of 2022. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome our next student speaker, Gabriella Smiley.
Hello, students, parents, esteemed faculty and administration, and of course, Ms. Hilliker. Today I have the pleasure of speaking in front of you all. I'm not speaking today because I'm valedictorian or anything big like that. I'm speaking because I like to talk. But I'm also speaking today because I think we need a reminder of what all of this was for and the things we've overcome. My sister Gracie once told me that high school is where we are taught how to learn, and college is where we use that ability for the things we are passionate about and figure out how to become an actual person. Funny enough, she did not go to college. High school isn't a determining factor on how smart we are. Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Just because you aren't good at algebra doesn't mean you won't do good in the real world. I always saw myself as the fish in this scenario. I was never good at math, and I always hated language arts class. I felt as if I wouldn't be able to go to college or get an adult job because I wasn't good at what I was being told to learn. But this school has completely changed my view on all of this. Miss Sovey taught me to love language arts. Miss Hilliker brought out my love for everything about science and has given me an idea of what I want to do with my future. And Miss Cook taught me to be amazing at algebra. As you can see, I'm very humble about it. My academic changes and growth are just part of the things I've learned in this school, but also a lot of things that I've learned about life and happiness. A lot of what I've learned came from being able to partake in the blessing that is being downstairs with some of the most wonderful people I have ever met. Jillian, Mindy, Mike, Lisa, and Megan. They're some of the post-high teachers who most of you probably have never met, but this last semester I got to meet all of them and some other amazing people who I have the pleasure of calling my friends. They have taught me so much about the importance of being happy in life and living it to the fullest. I didn't think that I could be shaped much more as a person than I already was, but after meeting them, I realized I was wrong. They are now huge role models in my life, and I could not be more grateful to all of them. If I could leave you all with one thing as a parting gift, it would be to always remember that the opportunity to achieve greatness is always in your grasp. And we all really just made it through high school. Thank you.
Our final speaker of this evening is our valedictorian, Victoria Cavender.
Good afternoon, friends, families, faculty, and fellow graduates. Can you believe it? Here we are, finally getting ready to cross the stage and head on to bigger things. I, for one, can't believe how far we've come over these past 4 years. Each of us going through the long days, just trying to pass the time and get high school over with. Each and every one of us has changed, growing and striving to become the best versions of ourselves. Many of us have jumped over some pretty tall hurdles that life has set in our path in order to be here at the finish line. With every hurdle conquered, we have grown stronger and more resilient. Our life experiences so far and our high school experiences at Renaissance demonstrate that we can push past the obstacles to reach our goal and that we can change for the better. Colin Powell once said, "A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." I thought that this quote was very fitting for our graduating class because we could have never gotten onto this stage to this moment without putting in all the time and effort, all whilst bettering ourselves and slowly getting prepared for the real world. What matters most is that we fought for this moment. We dedicated ourselves to achieving this goal, determined to put in the work, and we can proudly say that our dream of graduating high school is our reality. Leaving high school is such a brutal transition. Over the past 4 years, we have had the same routine, and now that it's changing, it seems exciting, and to be honest, it is. Yet, I also know that at some point, being an adult will have moments that will have us longing for the good old days where everything seemed much more simple and easy. So before we make this transition and fully embrace our new adventure in life, take a few minutes to soak in this moment and all of the great moments we have had over the past 4 years. I don't know what the world has in store for any of us, but I hope that when your future self looks back at this time in your life, you look back on it with great fondness. I would like to offer one piece of advice before we cross the stage and finish our high school journey together. Keep putting in the effort to better yourself, and never let anyone or anything stop you from becoming the best version of you. Because this is your life, and if you fight hard enough for what you want, you may just be able to achieve it. With my limited experiences, I can't say much, but I offer this advice as someone who has fought and powered through many obstacles, pushing myself to be better and pushing forward with my journey. With that being said, I would like to wish all of my fellow classmates good luck in all of your future endeavors. I hope life pans out for you in all of the best ways. I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for being there and supporting me and all of the other students in our small Renaissance family. It is more than a blessing to speak to you today as your valedictorian, and honestly, I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, so graduates, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, the conferring of diplomas. I would like to now invite our own counselor, Mrs. Stacy Youngerman, to come up as she will read the names as you cross the stage. Please prepare the graduates.
Isaac Ryan Alban. Madison Maris Baker. Jacob Bielkini. Victoria Catherine Cavender. Elisa Marie Cologne. Reagan Marie Edwards. Jana Liz Figueroa. Ava Alexandra Flick. Ariana Grace Gallo. Alicia Garcia. Julian Green. Autumn Elizabeth Harvey. Aaron Joseph Houghton II. Mackenzie Lee Irby. Aiden Charles Kissane. Corey Marlinga. Cassie Marie McLeod. Jaden Monroe McDougall. Madeline Nicole McVeigh. Michaela Marie Messenger. Ivan Alexander Alevnik. Juan Miguel Osorio Jr. Samantha Irene Schneider. Gabriella Jane Smiley. Alyssa Marie Smatowski. Christian Sutton Jones. Tyler Vopel. Kennedy Ann Wayne. Aaliyah Ariana West. Savannah Wilson. Jalen Brian Woodruff. Jonah Ryan Zock.
Well, now I'm sad. Let's just do it again. All right. Class of 2022. With much love, I congratulate you. As graduates, you may now move your tassel from the left side of your mortarboard to the left side of the mortarboard. I think it's official now, so. All right, just a couple of quick things. We're going to do our recessional. Parents, friends, family, can you please wait till the graduates get out to the back before leaving so we can let them all get out there and then you can find them. So would you please prepare the graduates for the recessional?